Hi, I'm Marie Plutt from aspirationsresume.com, here to give you your daily resume tip. So today I want to talk to you about formatting your resume for applicant tracking systems, or ATS. Now, normally any resume writer will tell you that content is key, and what applicant tracking software is really trying to figure out about you are your qualifications based on keywords that are used throughout your resume. However, even some skilled resume writers will make it impossible for the applicant tracking software to even see your qualifications or those keywords because it won't be able to read it due to formatting mistakes. So this is going to be broken up into a couple of lessons, but this one is the most important on just how you're presenting your information so that the software can see it. And I'm a global authority on doing beautiful resume designs that are applicant tracking software friendly. It's not an either or choice. You can design incredible resumes that work very well with these systems. However, you pretty much want to leave that to the professionals, and I'll show you why. If you are going to do it yourself, I'll show you how you can do that with just a little bit of color and imagination. You can have a lovely resume, one with a little dash of color. But first you need to understand what applicant tracking software eliminates and what it disregards and jumbles. And it basically always eliminates images and also shapes. So if you're working with Microsoft Word and you decide you want to add a shape, it'll just completely disregard that shape. Won't even see it. Any information contained within text boxes, and I'm going to show you an example later on the specifics, but some ATS can view text boxes and even graphs, but it'll generally speaking still jumble up that information within other sections of your resume. So text boxes, really, you try to avoid them at all costs. Charts and graphs, you try to resave those as images that they can be disregarded by ATS, and then you rewrite the same information within those charts and graphs somewhere else in the resume. And also tables, Excel tables, whatever. So one of the things that you can do, this is an example of a resume that I designed years ago that it was not ATS friendly. And so anything that was in these charts, these design charts, were gone. This whole side is completely done in text boxes. So it was disregarded. And then I have this Excel chart that I added into it. And so when I save this document as a plain text version, the text box, the name, the address, and all that stuff that was in the text boxes up here. This is all text boxes. Those left. You can't see that anymore. Anything in those side competencies, the text boxes, the competencies here were removed, disregarded, wouldn't be seen by ATS. The Excel table wouldn't be seen by a lot of ATS, or sometimes it might get jumbled within the other information I had it in. And then the charts, the graphs, these are just image files. These would just be completely disregarded by any applicant tracking software, old or new. And this is a warning. This is why you kind of want to avoid Etsy resume templates. And I see this happen all the time where people aren't getting callbacks for, they're sending their beautiful Etsy templates that they filled out, and they're sending it off to all these different employers who aren't calling them back. And it's because all of this information that you see in here, in order to keep it stylish and to keep it really user-friendly so that anybody can use it, Etsy designers tend to use only text boxes. So a lot of the older ATS systems won't see one word of your information. So as beautiful as your resume is, it won't actually be seen. So you can, however, there are a lot of things that you can do. You can use colored fonts, colored fill lines, border lines, common bullet points. The one in Microsoft Word that's actually called bullet is the single most universal. Underlined text, highlighted text, italics, boldface. I try to avoid using columns nowadays because that doesn't work that much. So maybe not disregard columns here. But underlined text, highlighted text, it looks nice on your current resume. When you go through an ATS system, the underline will go away, the highlight will go away. Everything will become plain black and white within those systems. But then, employers see both versions. The plain black and white version is just that initial screen for the ATS, but when employers and future bosses actually see your resume, they're handed your actual or emailed or sent or however distributed your original resume. So everything just sort of becomes plain text through these systems. Now, this is, in my later years, I started developing these award-winning resumes that were also ATS friendly. So what it is you'll have like a plain resume like this, and nothing is really in column. This is all tab rule. Everything is, something that can be read by an ATS. Nothing's in a text box. Nothing is in a chart or a graph. But then I've created images that either go over the text and it gets disregarded so that when they want to see the text, they just see the text. So images that go over the text or behind the text, and you use the wrap text function in Microsoft Word. I have this in earlier versions on how to create beautiful resumes, earlier daily tips, but you can just do wrap text for any image file and just add the images that you want. I also had a Aurora award that I did that's, this is ATS friendly. This is just plain text, but here, here, here. And then, I try to do columns sparingly. I'm very careful with columns. You don't want to use them too often because different ATS, different requirements. But this is an example of something that would work. You have an image that puts over this, and another image that's behind this, and it just sort of highlights in colors. But frankly, even if you had this planed out and you just had a couple, had this listed and this was all just one column, it wasn't a dual column, just a little bit of color and the light blues and the highlights and just color fills can make a huge difference in the appearance of a resume and make it look a lot more modern. Thank you for watching today's daily tip. Again, my name is Marie Plett, and I am from aspirationsresume.com. Please contact me today if you are seeking only the finest in resume development.